Today, I want to break down the difference between criminal tax fraud and tax evasion and civil tax fraud and tax evasion. To commit tax fraud, you must file a tax return that includes a lie. Two examples: you don't report all the income you received, or you report a bunch of expenses or deductions that you were not entitled to. You signed that tax return under penalty of perjury. So if you make a material misstatement or omission of a material fact, you have committed fraud. Moving over to the other side, tax evasion. You do not have to file a tax return to be guilty of tax evasion. For example, you make $1 million a year and decide not to file a tax return and not to pay any taxes. You've committed tax evasion. Whether or not the IRS decides to come after you for a civil case or a criminal case often depends on your behavior. For example, let's say you have not filed a tax return for the last 3 years and the IRS sends you a letter stating that you owe taxes. You immediately call them up, apologize profusely, enter into a payment plan, and start making payments. Good chance it will end there. You'll get hit with some interest and penalties, but as long as you keep paying, you're not going to jail. However, if you don't respond to any of their letters, start transferring your money offshore and retitling your assets in your grandma's name, then the civil side of the IRS can refer your case to the IRS criminal investigators. Now, we can compare two people who may have evaded the exact same amount of taxes in the exact same way, but one of them is charged civilly and the other is charged criminally because of their attitude and behavior. Now, the purpose of the gray circle here is to show and illustrate this prosecutorial discretion. The gray circle underneath the yellow line, right, this part right here, represents fraud and evasion that could go either way. The gray above the line is acts so egregious that you're getting hit with criminal charges if you get busted. And the white represents legal tax avoidance strategies. We're not going to discuss those here, but check out some other videos on my channel for those. Now, if the IRS is coming after you for criminal charges, they have to be ready to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. If they're coming after you civilly, they do not have as high of a burden of proof. The standard is clear and convincing evidence. Now, I asked my criminal law professor years ago if there was any sort of official percentages that I could associate with these two different standards, and he said absolutely not. But unofficially, beyond a reasonable doubt means that you're about 95% sure someone did something wrong, while clear and convincing evidence is closer to about 80%. Stay in the white zone, my friends. Hey, my name is Arash. I help people create plans to pay less in taxes. Did you know if you like, subscribe, and comment on my videos, you will automatically save 10% in taxes? Okay, that's actually not true. Also, I need to let you know that none of this video should be taken as tax advice. However, I would love to give you individualized tax advice. All you have to do is schedule a consultation on my website, link below.